Hello students, today we will discuss about major landforms. The various landforms on the Earth's surface are formed by the various endogenic and exogenic forces. Endogenic force, which means the forces which act in the interior of the Earth, and exogenic force, it means external process or the forces which acts on or above the Earth's surface. So in this chapter, mainly we will focus on the exogenic forces, and the various agents will help them to make changes on the existing landforms. The exogenic forces are the forces or the external process and phenomena that occurs on or above Earth's surface. The exogenic forces, it carries out their work in two ways: weathering and erosion. Weathering is disintegration and decomposition of rocks. Weathering involves disintegration and decomposition of rocks. A number of factors and agents such as heat, cold, frost action, plants, animal and chemical reaction help in weathering. So due to rapid and repeated heating and cooling, rocks develop cracks. Then these cracks, they widen further and finally break into smaller pieces. So weathering is breaking up of rocks, disintegration and decomposition of rocks due to various agents like heat, cold, frost action, plants, animals and chemical reaction help in weathering. Erosion is broken rock materials are removed from one place to another place. These small rock fragments, they are easily removed by the agents of nature such as wind, water and ice. So this process is called erosion. The weathering is generally followed by erosion. It is a process by which the broken rock materials are removed from the place of its origin and deposited elsewhere. So the main agent of erosion are running water, wind, glacier and waves. The transported materials are deposited at different places, and thus different landforms are created by the agents of erosion and deposition. So we have different type of erosion: the rivers, through waves, sea waves, through wind and glaciers. Weathering and erosion. The weathering is the process of breaking large rocks into smaller rocks over time. Erosion is the movement of weathered rocks and soil from one place to another, and both it take place through various agents such as wind, ice, gravity or water. So how work of a river forms different landforms. Landforms made by rivers. First we'll see what is river and the river system. So when it rains, some water, it goes underground, some of it evaporates and the rest forms small streams. So when many small streams join together, it forms a river. The place from where it originates, it's called source. The origin of river from where it originates is known as source. The place where river joins another water body such as ocean or sea, that called as mouth. That is known as the mouth. Then basins, the area drained out by these river. The area drained by the river and its tributaries is called the river basins. Let us see this diagram. This picture: river source from where it originates, tributaries, the various small streams which joins the main river, then finally it goes and mix with the larger water body, that is ocean or sea. And there we have the river mouth, from higher land to lower land, river system. And how these river system works, how these river works. The running water in the river, it carries out, it works in three ways: it erodes, it transports and it deposits. It erodes the rocks over which it flows, then it transports the eroded materials and it deposits the materials which it has transported. V-shaped valley. The erosional work of the river result in the widening and deepening of the river valley, and such a valley is called a V-shaped valley. So in hilly areas the river moves swiftly, and there is more erosion and transportation of the sediments are practically no deposition there, and that forms V-shaped valley. A stream cuts down into its channel. Then as the stream cuts down, the sides of the valley are eroded, and over time a V-shaped valley is formed. So this V-shaped valley is formed due to the action of river. The water flowing, the river water flowing. Then waterfall. When the water of the river falls almost vertically down a steep valley side, a waterfall is formed. They are important because they can be used to generate hydroelectricity. The steep sloping segment of the swift flowing river is called a rapid. The highest waterfall is Salto Angel Falls. And we have few more famous waterfalls such as Niagara Falls in North America, the Victoria Falls in Africa. They are famous ones. Meanders. Meanders are bend in the course of rivers. So when the river leaves the mountains and enters the plain, the flow is no longer swift. The flow is no longer soft. It slows down its movement. So the floor of the river valleys, it widens due to the continuous erosion along its banks. The river twists and turn to form large bends or loops, and these are called meanders. Now the river erodes, transport and deposit the sediments. So these bends and loops of the stream of the river is known as meanders. As a river flows over a gentle slope, when it reaches the plain on its middle course, it forms a series of loops, and they are called as meanders. So these meanders frequently change their shape and location, and due to the continuous erosion and deposition over a period of time, the meander loop cuts off from the river and forms a cut-off lake that called as Oxbow Lake. Oxbow Lake, shallow U-shaped or C-shaped body of water. Floodplain, nearly flat land adjacent to a stream. Nearly flat land adjacent to a stream. So during floods, the river generally overflows its banks due to the excess of water. It overflows its banks. Then the fine alluvial soil brought the rivers is deposited on the valley floor, and this fertile part is called floodplain. So in the flood, this fertile plain is called floodplain. In the floodplain, the coarse materials are deposited along the bank of the river. Levees, natural slope or wall to regulate water levels. Long ridges or low height are formed along the banks, and these are called natural levees. Natural levees or wall to regulate water levels. To regulate water levels, they are formed by the sediments. A levee is a natural or artificial slope or embankments or wall to regulate water levels. It is usually earthen and often parallel to the course of a river. Delta, a triangular shaped land. A delta is a landform that is created at the mouth of a river where the river flows into an ocean, sea, estuary, lake, etc. So deltas are usually formed at place where the slope of the river bed becomes too shallow before it enters the sea shore, and the stream of the river loses its speeds. So this causes it to lose the sediments it had carried earlier. So as the river flows in a relatively flat area, It forms large number of distributaries or streams, and the sediments keep collecting between these streams and forms shallow islands. So this whole area is called as delta. And the largest delta in the world is formed by Ganga and Brahmaputra river. And first, the delta word, it came from Greek letter, and first it was used by Greek historian Herodotus for the triangular depositional land on the mouth of Nile River. Work of sea waves. Now we'll see the work of sea waves, the different landforms created by sea waves. Sea water performs erosional and depositional work through sea waves. It is also aided by currents, tides, and storms. The work of sea waves is also known as marine erosion and marine deposition. It is confined to a narrow belt along the coast, and the erosional and depositional work of sea waves give rise to the coastal area, coastal landforms. Sea caves. A sea cave is a type of cave formed primarily by the wave action of the sea. The primary process involved is erosion in the rocky faces of the sea shore. Strong sea waves, they dash against the coast and dissolve or break down the rocks into fragments, and many large and small cracks develop on the rocky surface. So in due course of time, these cracks became wide and formed large cavities. So with the continuous action of sea waves, these cavities, it developed into sea caves. Now next we have sea arc. So when a headland projecting into the sea is attacked by the sea waves from both the sides, a thorough passage is created, and this is called a sea arc. When the roof of the sea arc is further eroded, it collapses and the pillar of rocks are left standing in the open water, and these are called stacks. Stacks. A stack is a geological landform consisting of a steep and often vertical column of rock in a sea near a coast. So stacks are formed when part of a main landform is eroded by water action or water crashing against the rock. Sea cliff. The sea water coast rising almost vertically above the sea water is called sea cliff. The steep vertical wall facing the sea is called the sea cliff. Now next we have beaches. So beaches are formed by the deposition of sand, gravel and pebbles. The depositional work of the sea waves is a slow process. So beaches are formed by the deposition of sand, gravel and pebbles on the shore. They are generally formed when the sea is calm and winds are of low velocity. The span of the seashore, which is flat, and the waves leave behind sediments at these places in the form of a fine sand, and they are called, and it is called beaches. Lagoons. When the broken rock materials are deposited on the sea floor near the coast, the sandbars are formed. So sometimes the sea water is enclosed between the coast and the sandbar. So it then become a partially enclosed lake, which are called a lagoon. So lagoons are partially enclosed lake between the coast and the sandbars. So today we have discussed about the endogenic forces and the agents which help them to erode, and through those agents the different landforms are formed through river and through sea waves. The different landforms or different features are formed on our land. So in the next class, we'll discuss about landforms made by winds and landforms made by glaciers. Thank you, students.